Truth is, I failed in 2024, and this is how it happened. A lot of the things that we need to work on, we already know the answers to, but we avoid them by filling our time with things we like to do. The one thing I learned was, the more that you do stuff that you don't like to do, the faster you grow. 2024 was the year I stripped away the fun things and faced the work I'd been avoiding, and this is what I learned. Challenges are what drive me. If I'm not facing something difficult, I feel like I'm stagnating. Taking L's just leads to more W's. If you don't stack up any L's, you won't see any W's. And honestly, it feels good to get those L's out of the way. Every loss teaches you something. With that knowledge, you can go and chase the next W, no matter how many tries it takes. That mindset carried me through everything I did this year. One of the biggest changes I made this year was deleting Instagram and stepping away from social media completely. This gave me the mental space to reconnect with my creativity and focus on learning again, something I hadn't done in a very long time. It also helped me understand that social media is just a highlight reel. All the real work happens behind the scenes. For a long time, I feel like I was drawn away from editing videos. It wasn't something that I really wanted to do anymore. And I think that came from hitting a plateau and at the same time, just like a big feeling of burnout. At the beginning of the year, everything started off strong. I was riding again. I finally got sponsored, and that was something that I was always looking forward to. I was so hyped to ride that we created these sessions called Send Saturdays. We got about 10 episodes in, and I had a blast shooting them, meeting up with all these people, talking with people that I hadn't seen in years, and a lot of people were enjoying it. I personally loved it. The one thing about it is that keeping myself accountable to upload once every week was kind of a lot. At the same time, with juggling client work, I felt like in a way it was too much. Overall, I was just really excited that I was starting to make content again. And then after only a few episodes in, I hit that burnout once again. It's not that I wasn't excited about what we were creating, I think it was just too much overall. But I think what put the brakes on it was this slam in particular. After this slam, I realized that I couldn't be out there riding this hard every single weekend. While it was a lot of fun, I think for the longevity of other plans that I had, I just wouldn't be able to make it possible. And at the same time, now that I think about it, I had a marathon coming up, so I couldn't jeopardize that. I had already paid for it. Me and my brother were already training for it for weeks, and I was excited about that. And I didn't want it to be something that I missed out on. This was his first marathon, and I remember when my dad took me on my first marathon. I was still in middle school, and at the time, I didn't really realize what I got myself into. And even before we started training, he told me, "I'm gonna take you to the finish line." So I took it into my own hands and told my brother the same thing. "I'm gonna take you to the finish line." And after 26 miles, all the way from downtown LA to Santa Monica and back to Century City, we made that happen. I don't think there's been a prouder moment than seeing my brother cross the finish line and us being able to share that moment together. For me, that moment was priceless. I think it was right after the marathon that I decided to take a break completely from Instagram and delete the app from my phone. I thought the only way that I can move on to the bigger goals that I had was by deleting the app completely and focus on developing those skills that would take me to the next level. So, I got real locked in, shaved the hair, recreated this scene from a movie called La Haine. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend it. Go watch it. It's a French film in black and white. I got real locked in with the gym, started going very consistently. The goal was to get out of my Ironman weight. I went from being 150 at the end of Ironman, and for me, I had lost a lot of weight because it was so much cardio that went into the training. So my goal was to get to at least 170. That was the goal I had set, and in that moment, I decided to go on my first official bulk. Besides gaining weight, I also wanted to hit a new PR on bench. The goal for that was 315. I don't know if it's everybody's dream going into the gym and hitting 315 on a bench, but for me, I think the standard of being strong is being able to bench 315. If you can bench 315, then you're good. Trust, you're good. I would say 315 is a valid number. I think one of my favorite shoots was the whole year was this desert shoot with Rafi, Joe, and Antonio. Antonio Chavez is a pro BMX rider, but he also rides dirt bikes. He was out there sending it on the dunes. I sent up the DJI drone, the FPV drone, was able to get some cool chasing shots. This was a campaign that we did for Rare Humans. We went out there, we shot photos, we shot video. I think what was different about this shoot is that I was just focused on the drone stuff. That was my whole role on this shoot. Usually I'll be in charge of like doing video as well, or maybe photos. But at the time I was really focused on just getting more and more drone work. Because I was able to just focus on that part, I felt like I was able to perform better as well. Not having so many things to worry about, it allowed me to focus on getting more specialized with my drone shots. But it was an amazing experience. We made a whole day of it. We got some really dope shots. The final product ended up looking fire. From photos to video, everything was covered. And we definitely need to go again because I think all the great shots that we got were closer into the evening, right before sunset. And that was like prime lighting. Because I was so hyped on the idea, I had met up with Davi. He's a BMX rider from Brazil that we had met at the Cove. We went out to Venice and tried getting some FPV shots. I think it was that one project that led to me practicing more and more with the FPV drone. I was basically taking it everywhere that I would go, and I got to use it on a music video with 1050. I helped them shoot indoor music video with the FPV drone. Shout out to 1050 for bringing me on this shoot. I had a lot of fun. After shooting that music video, I got to shoot another one, and that shoot was a lot of fun as well. Now, working as a videographer is interesting sometimes because sometimes you're working on projects you can't really talk about. Sometimes you're covered under NDA, but when that project is finally able to come out that you've been working on, it feels really good. One project that I was really excited about the release of was Mustard's album. In the years prior, I was helping document the creation of the album. Working on that team gave me a lot of valuable insight into what it takes to perform at that level. Being able to see how things were planned out and the whole process of an album release was very eye-opening. And it's something that I started thinking about and how I would carry it into other projects. Another project that I was excited to work on was the opening of my friend More's tattoo shop. I think that project in particular showed me everything that it takes to run a business on your own. From infrastructure to management, media, operations, there's just so many things that come with it, and I think if I wouldn't have been able to see that firsthand, I wouldn't know how to handle it on my own. So that project helped me develop a lot of skills around time management, structuring out content, planning content, working with a bunch of different new people that might not have been in front of camera, and being able to guide them through that. At the same time, I think it challenged me to be able to think outside of the box and keep creating new, fresh ideas and plan out what the rest of the month would look like. It was all about planning. And I think developing those structures is what allows you to stay consistent and go to the next level. Another one of my favorite projects was putting together Blue Hues. This was an installation for Uber Lopez. He was going to be having his first solo art show. One of my longtime friends and fellow Fixie Warrior, Michael, brought me onto this project to help shoot it. This was going to be a 3-part short film. And between the three of us, we were able to get together and collaborate, bring ideas together, brainstorm, and in the end, we ended up putting something together that we were all really proud of. This project gave me the confidence to share my ideas and reminded me why I started this in the first place. I think overall, a broader lesson that I took away in 2024 was how far collaboration goes. I had worked with so many people that I had been inspired by. Got to meet up with Edgar Estevez. He dropped a lot of knowledge. Got to meet a lot of people there as well. And I think as a creator, we want to be able to have our name attached to everything. And at the same time, I think we spread ourselves thin with what we're actually able to accomplish with just the help of somebody else. I think up until this year, there's been a part of me where I felt like I wouldn't be able to trust somebody with handling another piece of work because they don't necessarily do it the way that I do it. But I've learned that great ideas come from everywhere. And at the end of the day, you just have to be able to trust the people around you and let each person do what they do best. There's always a greater purpose of creating videos. This year I started to understand that greater purpose, not just for views or reactions, but for building a cohesive entity. Whether that's a brand or a piece of art, whatever it is, it all goes to serve a greater purpose. Each piece of content contributes to a bigger picture. Every individual moment creates an even bigger narrative. Towards the end of the year, I accomplished one of my biggest personal goals, moving out on my own. I didn't want to have roommates. I wanted to experience full independence. It's only been a few months, but it's already taught me so much. From learning to cook and clean, moving out has made me more accountable. It's a reflection of the life I'm building for myself, and it feels amazing to finally check that off my list. My 3 key takeaways from 2024 are collaboration, education, and self-belief. Surround yourself with people who are more experienced than you. They'll push you to grow and help you reach that next level. Investing in learning has been one of the best things I've done. Whether it's formal education or learning through experiences, there's always room to grow. Believing in yourself is everything. No matter what level you're at, you're capable of learning, growing, and achieving way more than you think. This year has been about growth, challenges, and embracing opportunities. Whether it was stepping away from social media, working on incredible projects, or moving out, 2024 taught me that progress comes from showing up even when it's hard. If there's one thing I'd say to anyone watching, it's surround yourself with people who push you, invest in learning, and believe in yourself. These things will take you further than you can imagine. 2024 wasn't perfect, but it was a year of progress. And as long as you're moving forward, you're on the right path. At the beginning of the video, I said that I had failed, and to an extent, I did. I failed many times. But deciding to get back on the horse was what allowed me to get to where I'm at right now. And if it were up to me, I wouldn't change anything about it. Looking back on it, I hit my goal weight. I hit that bench PR that I was talking about. 315, off the list officially. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you. I wish you nothing but health, wealth, and success in 2025. And while I did not complete the 52 videos that I said I was going to do last year, I'm going to be more active this time because this time around I have a team with me that's going to push me to get these videos out. And if it's not on here, you can also find me on Instagram. I'm going to be uploading a lot more this year, so keep a lookout for that. I got some exciting projects in the works early 2025, so if you're following, you'll be able to see that as soon as it rolls out. This episode was brought to you by Motion Studios. Probably don't know what that is right now, but you will in the next few weeks. So I appreciate y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Mic drop on 2024. And we're out just like that. Bro, this took forever. I've been shooting for a few hours now. First, the battery died, then the memory card got full, and I was talking for like 20 minutes and none of it was being recorded. It's like 2:30 a.m. now. I was supposed to be done with this and be asleep, but again, if you don't take those L's, you'll never get those dubs. So, a little behind the scenes. This shit is annoying!